Ignite your imagination with this pulse-pounding saga straight from the front lines of global intrigue. Envision a twilight London alive with electric destiny, where the Thames whispers secrets of empires reborn. Air Force One descends like a phoenix of power, unleashing Donald J. Trump, the indomitable architect of American dominance, for his electrifying second state visit to Britain. This isn't pomp and circumstance. It's a thunderclap of transformation. Red carpets bleeding crimson ambition, flags whipping like war cries, and deals detonating like fireworks of fortune. Billions in the balance, alliances ablaze, and a brutal truth scorching the air. In the brutal arena of world dominance, loyalty is lavish, and betrayal is banishment. But across the frosty Atlantic, Canada stirs from slumber into a savage shock. Eclipsed, eviscerated, its trade veins severed as Britain and the U.S. forge a fiery new frontier. Strapping tight, we're dissecting the dazzle, the daggers, and the devastating divide. One powerhouse rises, another reels. Will Canada claw back or crumble into the cold? Dive deep, because this drama is just detonating. Tuesday, September 19th, 2025, Stansted Airport pulses under Klieg lights as Trump's jet kisses tarmac, a metallic monarch amid the mist. Emerging like a colossus carved from granite and grit, the president strides forth, Melania at his side, her sapphire gaze a fortress of grace amid the gale. Britain's elite await. Foreign Secretary David Lammy, razor-sharp and resolute, his diplomacy a diamond blade. Viscount Henry Hood, King Charles's velvet-voiced viceroy, channeling royal radiance through the realm's storied veins. No tepid welcomes. These are thunderous ovations, the prelude to a ballet of billion-dollar bonds. Spirited skyward in a chopper's defiant drumbeat, they rocket to Winfield House, that gilded ambassadorial jewel in Regent's Park, where ivy-clad walls cradle secrets and silk sheets summon strategy. Here, in this haven of hushed opulence, they recharge for the rapture ahead. Feasts fit for pharaohs, councils crackling with conquest, packs primed to propel prosperity into the stratosphere. This odyssey? No fleeting formality. It's the fiery revival of the special relationship. A sacred flame Prime Minister Keir Starmer fans with ferocious fervor, his vision of Viking saga scripted in steel and stars. Over $10 billion in blazing breakthroughs. Energy's inferno, tech's torrent, nuclear's nova, defense's drag-on fire, set to solder these souls unbreakable. A Union Starmer salutes as eternal embers, summoning Winston's wildfire whispers from the winds. The orchestra assembles with operatic flair. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio jets in that fateful Tuesday, a silver-tongued storm with eyes like laser sights, turbocharging Trump's Titan team. Echoing their prelude, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chancellor Rachel Reeves, titans of the tally, unveil a transatlantic juggernaut, a task force fusing London's labyrinthine ledgers with New York's neon nerve center. Envision the alchemy, Manhattan's marauders storming the square-mile spires, birthing blockchain behemoths, emerald energy odysseys, fintech phantasms that eclipse eclipses. Reeves, her ledger lore lethal and luminous, brands it rivalry's rapturous rebirth into unbreakable brotherhood, as Bessent bellows of capital cascades dwarfing the jazz age's jazz. The evidence erupts vividly. June's tariff tempest tamed for British autos and aviators slicing into U.S. skies, starters in this sumptuous spread. Now, the feast unfurls, $10 billion barges, AI archipelagos erupting in Britain's rugged northeast, nuclear nirvanas nucleating in northern Valles, defense dominions hammered in Hammer and Tongs harmony, and job jewels, thousands twinkling like constellations for the realm's restless ranks. Britain's battered north? Reborn as an AI Aurora zone, a cybernetic coliseum of colossal data domes and silicon sanctums, sluiced with Yankee gold and galactic gusto. Yet, this glittering gala guts one giant, for in Canada's colossal cradle, Aurora yields to Arctic ache. Oh my stars! The maple masses murmur, eyelids heavy with horror. Let's burrow back beneath the blankets. Banners sag like defeated sails, crimson paths coiled in contemptuous curls. Ottawa orphaned in the opulent orbit. Prime Minister Mark Carney, the savant financier flipped to frontrunner, poses not as peer, but as phantom, peering through Parliament's panes at a gala gated against him. Canada, chiseled from commerce's crucible, steel's symphonies, lumber leviathans, energy earthquakes, fabrication fireworks, now hemorrhages heartbeats. Ages ago, Britain beamed as the keystone in Canada's crown. Commonwealth comradeship, heritage's hearthfire, trade thoroughfares oiled by ancestral accents. Brexit's barbaric blade butchered those bonds, hurling London not northward to Ottawa's oasis, but westward into Washington's wildfire. The equation? Exquisitely excruciating. Anchor to a kingdom knee-deep in Carney's cautious currents, or devour the dynamite dangling from Trump's titan talons. Dawn's drama crescendos Wednesday with regal revelry. A state banquet blazing with bohemian crystal and beluga bliss. Paving paradise for Thursday's thunder at number 10, Trump and Starmer scripting sagas of stake and surge. That $10 billion blaze zeroed on energy's ecstasy and tech's tantalizing tango. Downing Street drapes it in bardic beauty. An unbreakable bastion of brotherhood. A bulwark against tempests, tolling Tolkien-esque tones. The triumphs tantalize. Tariff triumphs tilt tables for British beasts of burden and birds of bolt, as U.S. earns upend into the Northeast needy nooks, spawning AI altars and employment elysiums. Canada? A crypt of contracts, its cargoes crucified on cost colossi. U.S. edicts iron irons, doubts devouring dusk. Steel screams the saga. Britain's 25% levy, a lash, yet a luxury against the 50% scourge scarring most maps, crowning UK kills with competitive crowns. Ottawa, oblivion on olive branches, pledges pulverized to powder, fabricators flayed in federal fiascos. Titans of tooling lament logistics labyrinths and levy-lacerated loads. Agrarians agonize as ambers and verdant vanities vanish from Yankee vaults to British bounty. Saskatchewan's sawmills shudder silent. Ontario's oily organelles overheat. Minnow merchant's mule, edge evaporates like ether in an eclipse. Carney's Coliseum? Carnage incarnate. The antique U.S.-Canada compact. Economies enmeshed like mythic mates. Safeguards sewn seamless. Armadas aligned in aegis. Phrase to phantoms. Cabinet cauldron boils bitter. Integration's interment is irrevocable. Carney croons, cadence cracked with chagrin. Trump's tariff tornado? Baseless blitzkriegs, he blasts, betraying treaties tattooed in trustier times. Fingers fly south. America first adamantaries. Safeguards serpent sting. Potomac's predatory pulse. These, he posits, poison Canada's pulse. Detractors devour. London's lashed by like lashes, yet Starmer snatches silver linings. Carney's compass? Calibrated crooked? The counterclaim carves him caricature, a chess master checkmated by chaos. Trump? The virtuoso violinist, violin in virtuosic vogue, verse unequivocal. Venerate the vanguard, vassals vowed to the vision. Britain's fealty flowers fabulous, fortune's flood, levies loosen, bazaars beckon. Canada? Caution's cruel chronicle, a confrere who cavilled and crashed. Iconography incinerates. Trump-Starmer tandem. Torchbearers trumpeting toil, triumphs, and treasury tsunamis. Carney croons canicles of cargo calamities. One gleams godlike, the other grovels ghostly. The fiscal fissure? Faultline fury. Canada's commerce contracts cataclysmic. Fabrication flagships, autos and alloys, avalanche in abyss. Alberta's amber autocracy affronts fickle frontier folk favoring fresher founts. Saskatchewan's sour savage that a tariff twitch torches their tenuous till. Ontario's Odyssey engines, North America's neural net, blare baleful bells. Each levy leap lops lines, lacerates liaison ledgers, launches layoffs in locales lashed by livelihood's lash and levitation's lie. Treachery torrents through territories. Alberta and Saskatchewan savage, sovereign sloth siphoning septillions. Heartland's heavy hitters heave with havoc. Culpability? Carney's cathedra, crystal clear. Beyond barbs and balances, its bond's brutal ballet. Britain, that bygone blood brother, bolts to Bay State's blaze. Trump trumpets this tango as testament to his tidal triumph, tracing a transatlantic tome tabling Canada in twilight, a lacuna lacerating with latent lava. Bereft of barricades, Canadian cartels court cataclysm, battlegrounds brutalized, brinks beckoning, barren of benefaction, beacons of beyond, AI's arcane ether, Aegis audacious arcs, fabrication's futuristic forge, flit to foggy Albion's folds, forsaking frozen frontiers. The rift? Ravenous, ravaging